In this video, we're continuing on with the Systems of Equations worksheet, solving by substitution, on the KutaSoftware website under the Infinite Algebra 1 section. Picking up where we left off with number 9, we need to write an equation in terms of one variable and then substitute that expression in for the other equation in order to solve our system. So for number 9, we're going to solve this first equation in terms of y, and we'll do so by adding 5x to both sides. So y equals negative 2 plus 5x. So I'm going to take that expression, negative 2 plus 5x, since that's equal to y, I'll be able to plug that in for y in my other equation. So negative 3x plus 6 times negative 2 plus 5x, since that's what y is equal to, that's going to be equal to negative 12. Now I'm going to need to distribute that 6. So I'll have negative 3x plus 6 times negative 2, which is negative 12, plus 6 times 5x, which is 30x. That's all equal to negative 12. Now I'll solve for x. I'll add 12 to each side in order to get my terms without x to one side of my equation, and then I'll combine negative 3x with 30x to get that 27x is equal to 0. And then when I divide by 27, I'll get that x is equal to 0. So now that I know that x is 0, I'll plug that value of x in for x in my equation that's equal to y. So I'll have y equals negative 2 plus 5 times 0, which is simply y equals negative 2. So in number 9, my solution is 0, negative 2. X equals 0, and y equals negative 2. In number 10, again I'm going to solve that first equation in terms of y, and I'll do so by adding 5x to both sides. So I'll get that y is equal to negative 3 plus 5x. And I'll be taking that negative 3 plus 5x and plugging it in for y in my second equation. So 3x minus 8 times y, which is the quantity negative 3 plus 5x, that's going to be equal to 24. So I'll have that 3x plus a positive 24, since minus a negative 3 times 8 will be plus a positive 3 times 8, which is 24, and then subtracting 8 times 5x, which is 40x, that'll be equal to 24. Now I'll subtract 24 from both sides, and at the same time, I'll combine my x's on my left. 3x minus 40x is going to be negative 37x, and that's equal to 24 minus 24, which is 0. And 0 divided by any number is simply 0. So x equals 0. Now I'll take that value of x and plug it in for my equation that's equivalent to y. So y equals negative 3 plus 5 times 0, which is y equals negative 3. So 0, negative 3 is my solution in number 10. X equals 0, and y is negative 3. Now moving on to the second page. However, before I start number 11, remember to click that like button, and while you're at it, subscribe to my channel. Now that you've hopefully done that, in number 11, we're going to switch things up a bit, and instead of solving for y, we're going to be solving for x at the start, or writing x in terms of y. So subtracting 3y from both sides, I'll get that x is equal to 1 minus 3y. So now I'm going to take that quantity 1 minus 3y and plug it in for x. So I'll have negative 3 times 1 minus 3y, and then I'll subtract 3y. That will be equal to negative 15. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3y will be plus 9y. And then I'll subtract 3y from that, and that will equal negative 15. So what I'll do, I'll combine my y terms, and at the same time, I'll add a positive 3 to both sides so that my y terms are the only thing on the left-hand side of my equation. 9y minus 3y is 6y, and that's going to be equal to negative 15 plus 3, which is negative 12. Dividing by 6, I'll get that y is equal to negative 2. So now that I know what y is equal to, I'll just plug that in for my equation that's equal to x. So I'll have x equal to 1 minus 3 times negative 2, x equals 1 minus a negative 6 or plus a positive 6, so x equals 7. So number 11, x is 7 and y is negative 2. That is my solution. And number 12, I'll utilize the second equation and isolate my y on one side of that. So I'll add 5x to both sides to get that y is equal to 19 plus 5x. And the reason I'm using my second equation this time, because I have a single y, one y, a single variable that I can rewrite the equation in one easy step. So now I'll take that 19 plus 5x and plug it into my first equation. So negative 3x minus 8 times 19 plus 5x equals 20. So I'll have negative 3x minus 8 times 19, which is 152, minus 8 times 5x, which is 40x. That's equal to a positive 20. So I'll add 152 to both sides. So I'll have 172 on my right-hand side, and I'll combine my x terms on my left. So negative 3x minus 40x is negative 43x. And when I divide by negative 43, I'll get that x is equal to a negative 4. So knowing that x is negative 4, I'll take that value and plug it back in to the equation that's equal to y. Now I can take that value of negative 4 and plug it into any of my equations that have an x, except then I'd still have to solve for y. Since this equation is already equal to y, all I have to do is plug in that number and solve. So y equals 19 plus 5 times negative 4, so that's y equals 19 plus a negative 20, or simply 19 minus 20, which is equal to negative 1. So x is negative 4 and y is negative 1 in number 12. Moving on to number 13, I'll solve this second equation in terms of y. So I'll add x to both sides. So y is equal to x plus 3. So I'll take x plus 3 and substitute that quantity in for y and my other equation. Hence, solving systems by substitution. So negative 3x plus 3 times x plus 3 equals 4. So negative 3x plus 3 times x was plus 3x, plus 3 times 3, which is 9, equals 4. Negative 3x plus 3x is 0, plus 9 is 9, and we have that 9 equals 4, but we know for a fact that 9 does not equal 4, therefore there is no solution. No solution is our answer in number 13. Now if you want to think about this, remember, for there to be no solution, if we go back to solving systems of equations by graphing, those lines will be parallel and have the same slope. So if we were to solve this first equation and write it in y equals mx plus b, we'll add 3x to both sides, so we'll have 3y equals 3x plus 4. And when we divide by 3, you'll see that y equals x plus 4/3. So the slope for each equation is 1. So since the slope is 1 in each equation, those lines are parallel, they will never intersect, and there is no solution for this system. Lastly in this video, I'll go over number 14. So we'll use the second equation and solve for the expression that's equal to y. So adding 5x to both sides, we'll get that y is equal to 13 plus 5x, or 5x plus 13. So we'll take that and plug it in for y in our first equation. So we will have negative 3x plus 3 times 13 plus 5x, and that's going to be equal to 3. So negative 3x plus 3 times 13 is plus 39, plus 3 times 5x, which is 15x, that's equal to 3. I'll subtract 39 from both sides, and then I'll combine negative 3x with 15x, so I'll have positive 12x equal to 3 minus 39, which is negative 36. And when I divide by 12, I'll get that x is equal to negative 3, since negative 36 divided by 12 is a negative 3. Now I'll take that value of negative 3 and plug it into my equation that's equivalent to y. So y equals 13 plus 5 times negative 3. That's y equals 13 plus negative 15, or 13 minus 15. So y is going to be equal to negative 2. So negative 3, negative 2 is my solution for number 14, and the final solution that I'll go over in this video. Join me in the next video where I'll finish this worksheet completing numbers 15 through 20. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or if you want to just leave me a note, leave that in the comments below as well. And remember, like, subscribe, and share.